Hey everyone, this is Jason here at Grand Slam here in Loveland, Colorado, and this week we're bringing you some new books. So let's just get right into it. There's a whole slew of books. I'm really excited to talk about them this week. Let's just get into DC had a pretty light week as far as my store is concerned. We did get the typical weekly books as well, but I don't like that. We don't have to talk about those every week. In case you're wondering, there are weekly books coming out, but we're leading up into this huge event called Convergence. But this has nothing to do with it. This is Batman Arkham Knight. And this is kind of this is a prequel into the whole Arkham trilogy finale. So if you're into one of those video game type things and you want to read a comic book that supports a video game because it's about a comic book, this is the one for you. I'm sure it has great art inside, and it's about Batman stuff that's related to a video game that you're all probably playing. So the video game's awesome. Even though I don't really play video games, I have to admit the graphics are just sweet and intense. A lot of going on with Marvel this week. There's my shout out to Silver Surfer. I think this is the last issue in the run, at least kind of looking at the issue. If you aren't familiar, Mike Allred does the art for this, and it's written by Dan Slott. I mean, just look at that. I mean, that's Galactus. He's fighting Silver Surfer. If you've never read a Mike Allred book, his art is definitely something you have to get used to. He's been doing He did Madman, the comic, which is an indie book, but he's doing Silver Surfer here. I think he did an incredible job on this run. It's too bad. I think it's stopping at issue 10, so it's very unfortunate, but I still have all these back issues from previous, so definitely check this one out if you've ever read Silver Surfer. I've never read Silver Surfer before. It kind of reminds me of like a Doctor Who type of story, so this is one I would definitely check out. Everybody was abuzz about Spider-Gwen number 1, so Spider-Gwen number 2 is here. I got a lot of these on the shelf. Spider-Gwen number 1, not so much, but I do got quite a few of these on the shelf. So come check it out if it's something that you were interested in. Star Wars number 3, the quest of Luke Skywalker continues. He's kind of on this speed of bike. He's like doing this, like. So yeah, it's a pretty cool cover. I made a cool sound effect. I think you should all be happy about that. This is number 3. Come by and get it. Remember the end of Guardians of the Galaxy when Howard the Duck was sitting there. He was drinking his martini, and he made a little quack. Made a quack of a joke, I guess. Boom, Howard the Duck, number 1, finally. I'm pretty big on this book. I'm really excited for it. The art looks pretty cool. It looks like he's like a private detective. He's kind of involved in the Marvel Universe. I saw him like hanging out with Black Cat. This is the writer for this is Chip Zdarsky, who does Sex Criminals, is one of my favorite titles right now. He does the art and he helps tell the story. Howard the Duck, probably more of the same. And now that Spider-Verse is over, I just want to let you all know, boom, we got normal Amazing Spider-Man. So much Marvel stuff this week. I could have done a whole thing about Marvel. Let's move on to the Image stuff. Walking Dead, super quick. Everybody loves Walking Dead. I always got to blast these books. I got a ton of them on the shelf. If you like it, come get it. This is Spawn Resurrected. So you might remember we did Spawn 250 just recently. So now this is the resurrection of Spawn. I flipped through this book. Really cool. He's having a conversation with a dog. It's God. And he gets resurrected. He comes back. Why? What are the reasons? You got to read this issue to find out. But when I say Spawn, I mean Al Simmons, the original Spawn from 1992. So all of you old school fans will love it. Two free books, or not 2 free books, but these are 2 Image books this week, 2 new number 1s. This is Southern Cross. It's written by Becky Cloonan, one of my favorite kind of indie gals out there. And this one is Alice Cott, The Surface. Alice Cott has been getting a lot of buzz as a writer. He's been doing some cool stuff over at Marvel, and so now he's kind of says his own book, and got this. So if you're looking for sweet indie cred, get these books. Last but not least, my blast is for Copperhead. I got a sweet trade paperback. I got 2 issues, 2 books of volume 1. Copperhead I've heard a lot of good things about it. Brian K. Vaughan says it's one of his favorite books of the year. I haven't been able to read it. I have some customers that get it. I'll hopefully get to sit down, maybe read it, see if it lives up to the hype of the hype machine. I read Shudder. I did not think that, but I do have Shudder on the shelf if you want to test that theory for yourself. So, a lot of comic books this week. Not a lot of DC. Sorry about that, DC folks. It's just how the cookie crumbles. Don't worry, Convergence is coming. I'll be talking about Convergence all the time. So, I hope you really enjoyed it. This is Grand Slam over here in Loveland, and it's middle of March. So come out, enjoy, run around, do some jogging with your comics, and I'll see you next time. And thanks for tuning in. Oh, make sure to subscribe and click and like and all that good stuff too.